Well, we'll get started with our class. Oh. I was going to show you the Black Hills, but I'll probably do that after the break. Okay, and have Ron help me with that. Okay, we started with the creation with Amp, and later on it was called Ampo. We had Ha, and then later on become Ha Happy. We still use those words today. And our creator, Ian. Then we have Makha. Ian created Makha. Then Shka. And then we, the sun. Kia, Wakia, Unk, Khate, and then we, and we have Ksa. Let's see, who do I have? Wokhe. Some say Wokpe, and some say Wopche. Okay. That Unk was cast out. Unk. Unkche. Then we have Iya. Ganash. Okay. Okay, we talked about a lot of all these spirits that has been created, and the spirits recreate other spirits, and we have so far the spirits. And now another creation began with Ksa, and Wopche was the Pte Oyate. They call them Pte Oyate, nation of group of spirits. And we're still, it was supposed to be Ptaya, a group of beings that have been created to serve the spirits when they come together as a congregation under the Black Hills, okay? And also, they were called Wigiligala, okay? Helping or serving others, as the word is described, Wigiligala, doing things for someone or doing things for others. And that's what the Pteoyate was created for, to help Wopche and Ksapela, Oksa, okay? And to make it more comfortable as time progresses. When the creation began, there's progression that is in motion during that time when they were underground in the Black Hills. As we, as Lakota people, believe that that's our home, our homeland, our security, so to speak. And I said before, when the missionary came and wanted to know a Lakota name for angels, and they were part of the spirit in the underground, they found out I think they should be called Gleska. Okay? And so now the missionary word for angels is Ogaligle, just same as Pteoyate were when they were underground. Okay, so in missionary it is called angels. Okay. And now the beginning of the completion of the spiritual world, as it was known during that time of the beginning, and now the pushing towards coming into this physical world is evident. You know, it's an advent that, you know, it's going to happen. And they understood. And so they're preparing the Pteoyate to make that exodus out into the spiritual world. In a way, we have spirits that helped us when we came out into the physical world. There's a spirit called Si-Chun. I know that I heard a lot of definition for that, but it's a Si-Chun is something that cannot enter into the death. You were born with it, and yet it cannot enter into the spirit world, usually. And I think that's something that they told me is the essence of the being. Okay, if the person goes into the spirit world, the Si-Chun stays. And as I understood it, there were times when you go back into the past and remembering grandma make frying fry bread, and somehow you can almost smell that aroma of grandma frying fry bread. So it's like that. It takes you back to that time of your life in history. And so it might be memory, the essence of your memories. But today, you know, we have cameras and televisions and recorders, camera, like I said, camera, and they take picture of us and it's there, okay? So it's like that, it's a memory. Si-Chun is a memory of that person. And of course, camera and others are good, but they're not physical. You know, when we remember back, we can almost sense the presence of that person who is not there, okay? So we all have that Si-Chun with us, the essence, and some call it potency, but I'm telling you what I was told in the stories of a long time ago. So like I said, I'm just giving you information, so there's room for research, you know, in this class. Okay, Si-Chun is part of us. And Nari, we were Nari. Nari is a spirit, and we have the Narila, which is part of us. Okay. And so these are important, the spirit and the Nagila. Okay, that's part of us. That's what keep us going, keeping our physical body going at all times. Because sometimes our spirit wanted to do things, but sometimes our physical body cannot do it, you know. And so sometimes it is difficult for the Nagila to do things with our vehicle, the physical body. Okay, sometimes they fought, our physical and our spiritual. You know, sometimes they try to do each other or whatever it may be, but they're always fighting. And that's why when a person is going to go into the spirit world, there's nobody or nothing could stop it. You know, even the spirits, sometime when a loved one is going to go, the spirit is ready to go, even the medicine man cannot stop that. They probably prolong it for hours or days, but that's it. They're going to honor that. And so sometimes we're trying to prolong that person, but the Nagri will be out of the body and is willing to go back into the spirit world. Okay? Like we always do, sometimes we're trying to put them in a machine, hoping that somehow we'll have our loved ones back into our physical presence, but sometimes it's hard to do that, you know. So when a spirit ready to leave, yeah, there's nobody can do anything about it. Lakota people believe that, you know. I think a long time ago, they have two things in mind. When they accomplish that, you know, they're ready to depart this physical world. That is a dream and a vision. They have a dream for their family and a vision that they will be doing okay in the future. And when those are complete, you know, there are times they will be physically all right, but somehow they depart into the spirit world. And this is true, you know, a long time ago when the old people, when they think their family is all right and everything is fine and good, then they would go ahead and depart into the spirit world, you know, because they complete that vision. And I'm sure in your reading, Ate and Hunku were part of that. So it started way in the beginning, where even in a spiritual world, that, you know, Nagri depart from the body that is created and which is called Pte Oyate. Okay? And so there are things that needed to be done to help Nagri go back into that energy, as we call it, Wakan. A spiritual being. Wakan is that energy. Energy, a spark. And that's what Wakan is. Wakan is that. Huh? Yeah. Energy. Sky is a person, a spirit that help us move and have our being. You know, every creation that move is part of that. Sky. Okay, energy is Wakan. Wakan is vein, and everything that is created have that Kan, or the vein. And they said it's blue. But when we came out into the physical world, that changes. Okay? Our blood was blue, but when we came into the physical world, and so when we cut ourselves, somehow the we caused that blood to become red, because now we're in a different presence of a different place, a physical, because every creation have that, a red color, if they have vein, okay? That's what we're called we, cha, sha, red, okay? And this means humankind, mankind, we cha, sha. But we use this term today for man, okay, male. But male is we cha, okay, that's male. This is mankind or humankind. Okay, when you come into the physical world. And I'm sure in your reading, you're probably in the making of the Pte Oyate, I'm sure. Of course, if you read in that book, you really need to make sure that the concept of that you're reading might be in Lakota thought, because sometimes they put in other stories that it may not reflect the Lakota thought pattern of the stories that they might use other stories to put it in there, because what's his name? They took all their stories, the creation story from Walker, because Walker lived among the Oglala people, and he lived with them for a long time, and he understood their ways and asking questions in a spiritual way, because at that time that tuberculosis ran rampant in all reservation, and he wanted to do something about it, and he went to the medicine man, hoping to find a cure through their herbs and plants, and so he went to them and really studied their spirituality, and that's how he got a lot of information from the spiritual, like sword and beard and other well-known medicine men at that time. And so he had a lot of information. And of course, our grandparents, our spiritual leaders, knew the creation story as they were told, as they understand it. Okay. And so, Wakan is an energy. Every creation, we're Wakan. We have that Kan, the vein in us, and that's what we wanted to get back to when we were Wakan under the underground in the Black Hills. Okay, it must be a very powerful thing to be that energy. Okay, everything that is created have that. We, the sun, have more energy because it was created to do that. And every creation that is created have something to do to Unjimanka, and they're doing that every day. They constantly doing their job. The sun is created to give us light, warmth, and energy, and that's what it's been doing ever since the creation of the sun and Unjimanka. Even the moon, Shkan, and Iya, even Iya, he became brittle and scattered all over. Mankoanja Iyayim. Ka inipl hechna uash ake gluhaya kelo em. Even Iya is there still continue to give us the strength and the power that we need to survive. Especially when you go to Inipi, when the rock was heated, the energy is still there. You know, that powerful effect of your spiritual, especially your mind, and sometimes physical, that the energy emits from Ian, the rock. Okay. So everything that is created is doing its part, except us, human. You know, and that's why Unchimanka went 3 phases of her creation, of her life. We're in the 3rd phase, you know, and because of the things that we do to help Unchimanka to receive that energy that is created for her, but sometimes we don't. And we have a cycle of Lakota people, 72-year cycle. Things happen, changes every 72 years. And I think we're in the 4th phase of that. 2008 was the 72-year cycle for Lakota people. So things began to happen that we never understood. You know, movement in the universe, or Manka, or things that are not normal usually appear. And so now we're going back into another cycle. Of course, you know, the sun is here, and Unchimanka is now closer to that, you know, and usually goes back up and come. So during this time, we have drought and things that are happening because of the 72-year cycle. And then we'll move back, and then we'll probably have more snow or more of a moisture at that time. So probably another 4 years or whatever it is, it will come back over here and then back down again. Okay. The Unchimanka need that energy to complete her cycle as well, you know. Scientists are not saying that Unchimanka breathe in and out, and Lakota people already knew that, you know. And sometimes the North Pole and the South Pole, they exchange energy. North Pole would go up to South Pole. South Pole will go to the North Pole. And it's evident, was it last year, some scientists or whatever, in the water there's energy going back towards south, a magnetic field as they call it. And we know that already, and I'm sure most of your grandparents or people, Lakota people, probably have already mentioned those things. They are there. And things will happen as it makes its final movement out into a wider circle, of course. And as of now, I think they're talking about the, what they call that? El Nino or something like that. It's coming back up, you know. That would create changes in the weather pattern, okay? So we'll probably be in that circle. And every 72 years things happen, you know, things that are we see things, just like in north of us, they see there's sights that, you know, not normal to them. Beings that they've seen on a road or experienced some people that are not normal, are not from in this area. And they talked about that. I'm pretty sure you heard most of them. If those of you have phones, you know, they sent those pictures and sounds through our telephone. Because I know I had somebody sent me some sounds of not a human person, non-human, whatever it is, and pictures of them. And so it's there at that time. So every 72 years prior to that, they always talk about Bigfoot. Of course, Lakota people already knew that they make the round and back up to the north. And Lakota, we have stories about that. We have stories about Bigfoot. And so we know it's there. It's that somehow we never heard about them or never understood them. So when we heard about these things, an anxiety exists into our minds. Okay, they were there a long time ago, but they never bothered anybody. So Lakota people accept that. That was a long time ago. And so now we have the Sichun that's part of us, but never will enter the spirit world. It stays here as a reminder that a person that we know was here. When we remember them, when we do remember them, they're here with us at that time when we need comforting. Because Nagri is that, the spirit, and Nagrila is what we have, okay? And it's important that, we know these spirits, that they exist. And I think we talked about that, touch a little bit on that last week. Because, things that are happening are there. And we have things that will help us sort of confront, because we have the good and the bad with us, and we also know that also the spirit could be good and also could be bad. Today we have a word that called evil, but in Lakota I don't think we have a word for evil. It's just that it's really lila shija could be equivalent to that evil as we know today. Okay, so we do have the Nagrila, and there are things that we must do to help our Nagrila go into their proper places. Like as today we called it a spirit world, okay? Or I heard some say happy hunting ground, okay? But however it is, we do need to make sure the Nagrila get back to the spirit world. And we have ways of dealing with that. We have ceremonies that could address these things as Lakota people, okay? As I said before, when a young girl, female is born, the Toi and auntie trying to find a blue mark. And usually they would find one and then a tailbone of that little child. If they don't find that, then they have a ceremony around about 6 years old. Tattoo. They usually tattoo them in somebody, a wrist or in the cheek, to show that Toi will notice that and allow that person or female to go into the spirit world, It's like a permission or a ticket or something that's on that physical body. And Toi will allow her into the spirit world. And the reason is that the female to do that, have that blue mark, is that they are creators of a nation, and they have a lot of responsibility in doing that. Just like Iya Creator through His blood, and also the women through their blood. A creation has started, and there's a lot of responsibility that needs to be done during that time in this physical world. And if a female didn't take her responsibility that seriously, when it gets to Toi, chances are she will be pushed back into this world again. And so that's why they have a lot of ceremonies for female when they're growing up. They have to do things. So even though she get pushed off, their chances are she will make another try in a successful way if those family would do some of this ceremony. There are simple ceremonies that will do that. So that's why when a female is born, they always do that, look for the blue mark. And if not, they would have a ceremony and a tattoo. And I think this was the time when in the third phase of Uchimanka. Because when the Pangea comes, you noticed some tribes do tattooing. Some overdo it, but some have a little tattoo or marking on the forehead or any place. And some still do that even today. Some overdo their tattooing, just like is it Mayans or no? New Zealand, and some Japanese. And I do too. I got a serpent all around my body. I'll show it to you. Hey, right. So it's there, But these are things happening a long time ago. And when the Pangea separation of the land into other continents, some still remember that and practice that, And so these are important part of a physical way of Lakota life, okay? Of course, also male too always have a tattoo somewhere in their body, so they would have a fighting chance of making it into the spirit world. It's not easy, they said, of getting into the spirit world. And that's why we have nature to help us along the way, like cottonwood branch. The branch. Ia, Ikto, Anugite, and Wakanka. They're afraid of the branch. When that rattles, they would become manageable, so to speak. They would sit still and wouldn't do anything. And so that's why they always have a ceremonies for everything. They use a cottonwood branch. And also the sage, the plant nation helped us. In a tree, the cedar, okay, in a grass, the sweet grass, and to help us to ensure that we continue the spiritual journey that we have into the spirit world. And so that's why the grass, the nature, the tree are there for our protection, okay? And so these are things that cottonwood tree, a branch, but these are just for ceremony. Here we have the sage, and what is a cedar, and sweet grass to help us, okay? And from the beginning of time, we always say medicine men are appointed. So medicine men or appointed before birth. So when they were born into this world, around time of 12 years old, that's when they're coming out, man, to become a man, and the spirit began to bother these persons. Okay, you got to fulfill who you are. You were appointed to be a medicine man. And sometimes they fought it until they're into older, around 50 or 60, and that's when they accept their calling. Okay, and they become a medicine man. Sometimes they go to Hombalecha and seek a vision, and they will be given a vision, but they're not appointed. A vision that they seek will help them in this physical world, only for that reason. Because if they're weak and not be able to make decisions, a vision will given to them to help them in their community. Person that is, understood others by having that vision. Okay, so not everyone is a medicine man. Today we have a whole bunch, but they were appointed from before they came into this world. Okay, and a reason for that is I was told by my grandpa, when a person have a ceremony to decide if that loved one makes it into the spirit world, and so the helper, the spiritual helper of that person, will go with them into the spirit world, the medicine man, and they see what's there. And so when a medicine man die, they go to a different place. They never go into the place where we're going, And that's what Grandpa told me before he died. He said, "Grandma, Nikoshi, Wangala King Tishnelo, as near Wala King Telo, Othala Wogala Kayo, Ya Iki, me Old Hokton Ektabalelo. I may not see your grandma when I go, but you will see her. So tell her the truth, because I'm going to a different place." Okay, and that's what he said. And so he's probably not with Grandma, but I know I'm always praying for Grandpa, because he won't be where the others are, because he have other jobs that need his experiences in life, I suppose. When the thunder comes, they say they come, or when another medicine man have a ceremony, they come and help with whatever sickness, whatever is needed, and they come and be part of that, Because I went to ceremonies and I heard other medicine men that came in. They have names that I know that came, to help in that area. Okay. So in our lives, these are the things that are happening, especially in our creation. Okay.